tell you this, Rob, but you know how old I was when it started? I was born. I'm older than that classic, the Dean Shippey baseball. That's kind of sad for me to admit.
Well, hey, you're aging like fine wine, just like the baseball classic, and it's going on this week for sure. And we're going to have a special guest to talk about it.
How about that? Rob got on the interview train today, and we're going to have one of the Lansing State Journal's best local baseball reporters.
Yeah, he covers prep sports, Brian Calloway, so he'll be joining us here within the next segment. So looking forward to that. Had an interview with him earlier, so hope you enjoy that. And
I think he's going to help us do something.
We'll tease that a little later.
The Shippey Classic basically, runs right through. I think the final game is June 5th, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And those final games are over at McLean Stadium.
Correct.
Over on the campus.
Semifinals and the finals will happen at McLean Baseball Stadium. Yeah.
And if you haven't been over there to the McLean complex over on the Michigan State campus, it is as nice as any. It's as nice as the ballpark you'd see over in Lansing for the Lugnuts, or the one you'd see in West Michigan for the Whitecaps. It's really now it's not big, but it's really nice.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the Lansing Community College either, making it to their World Series as a second seed. So we'll keep you updated on that. And so a lot of local baseball going on, and of course the Tigers in the midst of a series with the Kansas City Royals.
Well, and we'll talk more about the Shippey Classic coming up in a little bit when you have your interview with Brian. But again, the Tigers have been our focus because it's been the big thing for us so far, Rob. But when we talked last week, they were embarking on a really potentially very, very ground gaining two stop series. They were going to go to the Nationals in Washington, and now they're in Kansas City. And with those two teams are two of probably the five worst teams record-wise in the Major League Baseball. I was hoping, Rob, for 5-1.
Yeah,
I would have taken 4-2. Now they got to win tomorrow's game, the series finale against Kansas City, and to come home 3-3.
Yeah, you're looking at a 500 at best, right?
I
mean, so again, and this is when we talked when we premiered our first episode. We talked about how tough their first, I guess, quadrant, you could say.
Yep, the first 40-some games.
40-some games. And what a tough schedule they actually had. And now into this next quadrant of 40 games, they have the second easiest schedule of in Major League Baseball. So, the way they played tough against the tougher competition, they got in a little bit of winning streaks here and there, close to 500. And so you were hoping that maybe they would turn the corner a little bit against, I don't want to say lesser competition, but competition more up to their, I guess, level, right?
Right.
So, and again, now we're looking at a Kansas City team who they know very well, and they'll play against probably about 1 million more times during this season. It seems like they play Kansas City, of course, a AL Central foe.
Right.
But they seem to play Kansas City a lot more than any other
anybody
team.
else. Huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah. It just seems that way in the schedule.
It seems that, this year with the balanced schedule, they do play their divisions, get more than anybody
equally,
else.
Yeah.
And fortunately for the Tigers, anyways, the division's so poor. That's a real asset. That's a plus. But the Tigers find themselves 21-25.
Yeah.
Still only 4 games under 500. And frankly, again, if they come back, if they finish up this 2-game series, 4-2, they would be at 500, right? Or 2 games closer.
Sure. Yeah.
If they'd have come back 5-1, they'd have been at 500.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the pitching let them down. The hitting continues to be a real problem. The clutch hitting,
that's the key word, clutch.
Yeah,
right?
Other than Riley Green, who's probably their hottest hitter.
Yeah, hitting 285, leading the team in average.
But if you look at the last month, his average is well over 300. Spencer Torkelson, again, is finally starting to pay off in that number 1 pick status. And Javi Baez, beyond those 3, it's really hit or miss any night. And one, you might see a Banez come and have a big game, or Matt Vierling might. But there's no consistency beyond those 3.
Not yet.
Well, and one thing we've seen in this last week for sure is we talked about this yesterday on Jack's show. And of course, you're listening to the baseball this week here on the Spotlight Sports Media, Spotlight Sports Network. Spotlight Media Network. Excuse me. I was so used to being on the sports station for so long, Rob. I want to be back on it, right? The Spotlight Media Network. But they're doing a lot more platooning now.
Yeah.
A.J. Hinch has said, you know what? I don't have a frontline player at probably 5 positions, so I'm going to take
That's
the guy.
smart to me.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
smart because what he has, but it does not bode well for a winning baseball team.
But did you really think? I mean, I'm going to go back to this again. It seems like I've said this every episode so far, and we're only on episode 4. But did you really think you were going to be fielding a winning baseball team this year?
No, but my problem, Rob, is I'm here now, and now I want to go to the next step. It's not enough for me to be 21 and 25.
I know,
Yeah,
and you're much
seriously.
like I understand the angst and the aggravation of being the P word, patience, potential. I mean, for God's sakes, the Detroit Tigers fans have been hearing that for quite a while.
You see what I have in my hand right here, Rob?
You got a baseball magazine waving at my hand.
Can you see this?
That?
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
This is the
Fans
Lindy's.
can see it.
This is the Lindy Sports Baseball Preview Edition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always get this the day it comes out in like February, whenever.
Right.
So this is kind of my preseason Bible, right?
Sure.
So I look to the page.
Look at that.
I looked at the projected finish where they have the Tigers dead last.
Sure.
Okay. So if you told me when I read this back in February that right today they'd be 21 and 25 and in second place, I'd have taken and shut up, right?
You should be excited about where they're at. No question about it. But you want more.
I want more.
The expectations now, because they're hovering around 500 and aren't 15 games below 500,
exactly,
have all of a sudden skyrocketed. And all I'm saying is you got to temper that a little bit.
Rob,
you got to realize what they have on the field right now.
You are going to be vice president in charge of temperament. I am VP in charge of excitement, over the top.
Let's do it.
Because I guess I've always been the best case scenario. So to your point,
sure.
Okay, yes, to be platooning in 5 positions probably isn't surprising.
No,
but I was hopeful that Jonathan Scope might have a comeback year. I was hopeful that Miguel Cabrera would have a Albert Pujols kind of a life.
Oh, wow.
I was hopeful. No, but, I was hopeful. Something like that.
But out of those 5 platoon, 5 positions, what's more surprising to you that he's platooning there? I mean, when you look at it.
No,
it doesn't surprise me at all in any of those, in all those positions.
You're right. The surprise would have been had one of those players taken the job for their own.
Yes.
Yeah. Had Eric Haas taking that catcher's job and making it his own. And he's hitting 290 and driving in 30. That would have been more surprising than the fact that they platoon.
Yeah,
with Jake Rogers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, I get it. But
I want you to come in here every Wednesday at 6 from 6 to 7. Right. I want you to come here full of energy and full of excitement for the Tigers. Don't ever lose that,
Rob. That I can do.
I know it.
So it wasn't a bad week. We still have one more game tomorrow. If they finish 3-3 for the week, we can't kick too much.
I think that's expect. Well, no, because it's not what you can expect because again, these teams. When you're talking about Washington and you're talking about Kansas City, on paper, record-wise, these teams were in worse positions than the Detroit Tigers were.
And if I'd have told you a week and a half ago that Eduardo Rodriguez would lose his next 2 games, then you'd probably say 3-3 is not bad, right?
Right. Correct.
So,
absolutely correct. And we'll talk about Mr. Rodriguez a little later because I got a question for you about him.
Well, we got a full show today. We're gonna kind of tweak our show a little bit today. We're gonna add a new feature coming up in the next thing. We're gonna go back to our interview.
Yeah, baseball classic with our high school baseball Diamond Classic with Brian Calloway from the Lansing State Journal. You'll hear from him next.
The next segment, we're going to talk about have some more fun with something I found I want to run by you, Rob. Okay. And then, of course, we'll have the final segment where we'll look at the week ahead. Plus, you have two new sponsors to welcome tonight, too.
Awesome. Love to hear about
some of our regular features, we'll have 3 Up, 3 Down. We'll have the farm down in the farm report. We'll have all that.
We are fired up.
All right, much more here on Baseball This Week, right here on the Spotlight Media Network.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a butter burger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Time for a career change? Looking to make a difference? Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our dedicated team of school bus professionals. Dean Transportation has immediate openings and offers paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license. With increased starting pay, benefit packages, flexible scheduling with weekday hours, and more, Dean Transportation may be the career choice for you. No experience needed. Apply now and train all summer. Head to deanjobs.com.
April's full of adventure and winning at Firekeepers. It's the Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. 2 huge drawing days, $300,000 in prizes, including a fully loaded motor coach and more. The first big drawings are on Saturday, April 15th. You could win a pop-up camper, a deluxe travel trailer, or thousands in Red Hot credits to spin and win some more. On April 29th, you can win a share of $55,000 in Red Hot credits, a pop-up camper, a travel trailer, or the grand prize, a motor coach RV. It's the $300,000 Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. The best giveaways, the biggest guaranteed prizes, only at Firekeepers. Get your Vegas on at Firekeepers Casino Hotel, I-94 to exit 104 in Battle Creek. Management reserves all rights.
And welcome back to the Baseball This Week, our 4th edition. I'm Jim Stark, along with Boston Rob Bennett. Rob, we're going to have a kind of a fun thing to do today. We're going to talk more about baseball, but not on the pro level, and that's one of the most popular of the high school tournaments. This for 61 years now, I think you said. Yep. The Dean Shippey Capital Diamond Classic, and they've actually played some of the games already.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess the Fowler dropped the opener to DeWitt on the 22nd. That was would have been on Monday.
Defending champion DeWitt Panthers. Yep.
And that was Monday, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay. And also Portland topped to Williamston, I think by a score of 5-1.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then on Tuesday, Olivet snuck by Lansing Catholic by a score of 4-3.
Yeah, great game.
And then St. John's upended Langsburg by a score of 9-6.
Yeah, came back, was down, came back, and again, St. John's, the runner-up in last year's Classic. So now we're looking ahead. We got a couple games to fill out the semifinals tomorrow night, and then it's off to McLean Baseball Stadium for the semifinals and the finals next week.
Well, and again, when you're talking about prep baseball, there's such a great list of names that have. How about we start with John Smoltz? Would that be okay?
Well, that'd be all right with me.
So
for sure.
And this community, this part of the state embraces prep baseball, even though it's not quite the sport it was in terms of numbers now. But still, it's a great sport. It's a lot of fun, and tournament action. And getting a chance to play at a college level stadium like McLean is great for these kids.
This is the purest part of the game right here.
It
brings back the purity of this game. It's not about money. It's not about contracts.
There's no NIL contracts. There's no TV contracts.
This is about pure love of the game.
And trying to be the best you can be.
And just be the best that you humanly possibly be, and teamwork. I mean, this is life learning skills.
I think we said we're going to
women with softball.
Absolutely. I think we said we're going to stretch this coverage over the next 2 weeks, this week and next week, because and we may have we're hoping to have an all-time Shippey Classic team by next week, right?
Yeah,
we're working on that.
Yeah.
But
we'll tease. Jim likes to tease everybody here on Facebook Live.
Do you not listen to sports radio now? It's all about teases. Coming up at 12:06. Yeah, it's all about teases. So, all right. But Rob was able to track down one of the Lansing State Journal staff reporters who's been covering this, covers prep sports and covers this tournament. And Rob got a chance to talk to him today. Before we do, though, this is our first time we're going to introduce another sponsor, and this is a sponsor, obviously, Rob, very near and dear to my heart. So our interview coming up will be our first Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy interview.
I've heard of that place before.
You have. The MSLC was founded in 2017 to preserve the rich history of sports in the state of Michigan. The Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy is not-for-profit 501c3 organization that advocates on the value of sports and the life lessons of athletic participation with a goal to support youth in the state of Michigan. Our programs include So Everyone Can Play Grant Initiative, the collection and archiving of historical sports artifacts, and recording audio living histories of great people that made the sports what they are today, and sports figures from the state of Michigan. The Michigan Sports Legacy is on the web at mislc.org and on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy. The Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy, where we preserve, interpret, and educate. So now...
That's a mouthful, man.
Let's go to the interview with Rob.
Thanks a lot, Jim. And yes, I am here with Brian Calloway of the Lansing State Journal. Brian, thank you for joining us here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Now, before we get into this year's tournament, for people that might not be familiar with the Diamond Classic, this has such a rich history, right, for this area, the communities. Can you just touch on that a little bit?
For sure. The Diamond Classic has just been a big deal around Greater Lansing really since it started in 1962. I mean, I think one of the unique things about the tournament is that it started before a time when there was an actual state tournament. So it was kind of a thing that was the first of its kind. So it was a big draw for people around the state to kind of, see this invite-only high school baseball tournament, kind of featuring some of the best teams from the Greater Lansing region. So I think that was one of the things that instantly made it had some appeal on a statewide level. And then also it was one of those things that, it was an event that attracted, people that were interested in high school baseball, scouts, kind of were there in its early stages as well too. And then I think, that early, period, as it started, and it was kind of that premier event before there was a baseball state tournament, it kind of evolved from that and just became a much, much bigger deal as it continued to go on in this area. So, I mean, it was one of those things where teams just relish, you look forward to kind of being invited to this tournament. You wanted to have a good season so you would have a chance to play in this event and be able to play at Municipal Park, which obviously, was a crown jewel. It was the place that everyone wanted to play. Back in the day when it was in this pristine condition as well too. So I mean that made it have appeal as well too. And then over the years, I mean, there's just been some big moments in the tournament as well too that have kind of added to its staying power. And, one of the instant things that comes to mind that for a lot of people when they think of the Diamond Classic is John Smoltz and the game-winning home run that he hit against Sexton in 1985 at Municipal Park to win that tournament for Waverly as well too. So it's a tournament that's produced a lot of great moments. It started before there was an actual state tournament began, and it's just had a lot of staying power and been something that communities have wanted to be a part of on a yearly basis.
Part of that history has been Grand Ledge Baseball legendary head coach Pat O'Keefe, who, correct me if I'm wrong, has the trophy named after him now, and I couldn't think of a better recipient. Could you?
No, not at all. I mean, especially with what he and Grand Ledge, have done with that tournament. I mean, obviously Grand Ledge has won it, I believe, 29 times. I mean, it's definitely been the dominant team in the tournament history. And, Pat O'Keefe was a big part of that success and leading Grand Ledge to numerous titles, throughout its, throughout the history of his run, leading that program. And then obviously, what Pat O'Keefe has meant from a baseball standpoint, and not only in Greater Lansing, but the state. He retired as the winningest coach in state history. He was passed by Larry Tuttle from Blissfield, after he ended up stepping down a few years ago. But still, I mean, just kind of the presence that he's had and the mark that he's had on high school baseball, not only in Greater Lansing with the success that he had at Grand Ledge, but just on a statewide level. I mean, people know from a statewide perspective who Pat O'Keefe is and kind of about the Grand Ledge baseball program because of the success that they constantly had, under his direction. So, like you said, I mean, no more fitting recipient to have a trophy like that named after them than Pat O'Keefe, based on what he's meant to high school baseball here in Greater Lansing.
All right, let's take a look at this 2023 version of the Dean Shippey Capital Diamond Classic, and of course Grand Ledge, a huge part of that. We'll get to them in here in a minute. But what have you been covering this event this year, as always? First off, who has really impressed you individually and team-wise up to this point?
Well, one of the teams that instantly kind of jumps out at you is Okemos. Based on the talent they have on the roster. Caleb Bonemer is a junior. He's a Virginia commit. Has been committed to them for a while. And, Okemos is a team that was one of the best teams in the area last year, has a lot back from that team as well, too, and is having another strong season and has been, one of the top teams in the Diamond Classic. And obviously, they have yet to play yet. They play tomorrow to get things started for their tournament run. But, I mean, just based on the schedule that they played a very tough schedule, had a lot of success so far this season as well, too. So, Okemos is instantly one of those teams that jumps out at you. Olivet is another team. They were a team that did not get invited last year into the tournament, but they had a very strong season last year. I think they lost once or twice, and obviously had a controversial ending to their season based on pitch count after winning a district last year. But they're a team that has a lot back and has really picked up where they left off last year and had another dominant season. And they kicked off their run in the tournament on Tuesday night with a win over Lansing Catholic. And I kind of saw that Olivet Lansing Catholic game as a game that was very intriguing because Lansing Catholic had a very good season last year and made it to a regional final when they lost in a tough game against Poama, Westphalia, and then obviously Olivet, being what they were last year, and then having another good season as well too. And that game definitely lived up to the billing yesterday with Olivet being able to record a 4-3 win over Lansing Catholic. And then you mentioned Grand Ledge. I mean, Grand Ledge is, they're one of the few teams that has beat Okemos this season. They swept them in a doubleheader, and they won the CAAC Blue title outright, wrapping it up on Tuesday night with some wins over Everett as well too. So Grand Ledge, when you talk about the Diamond Classic, they're always a factor in the mix and in the mix to be a champion again. And then St. John's is another interesting team as well too.
Made the finals last year, right?
Yep. They were the runner-up last year, lost to DeWitt. And, they've been one of the best teams in the CAAC Red the last couple of seasons. And they were able to come from behind and get a win over Langsburg in the second game Tuesday night as well, too, to punch their ticket into the semifinals once again. And then, DeWitt's the defending champion of this tournament. And they had the reigning MVP, Brandon Beckner, who got his tournament started off on a strong note on Monday night by going 3 for 4, scoring a couple of runs, and really setting the tone at the top of that DeWitt lineup as well, too. So there's just all kinds of storylines annually in the Diamond Classic. And, this year's tournament is definitely looking like it's going to continue, being a very strong event in this area.
Yeah, and St. John's and Olivet, because of those wins last night, have made it now to McLean Baseball Stadium, Michigan State, and made it to the semifinals. Who individually, though, maybe under the radar, who's a player that you've witnessed here in this Classic that's really stepped up their game?
Well, I think, from a Greater Lansing perspective, I don't think a lot of people really know about Olivet just because, they don't really typically play a lot of the bigger schools from around here that are there in the GLAC. And obviously next year they will be a part of the CAAC. But, I just think in general, a lot of fans don't really know about some of the talent that they have on their roster. And they have two guys that are really key for them, Ramsey Basso, Lalo Aguirre as well, too. And they were big last night for Olivet when they were able to win. And I think that was kind of maybe a little bit of an introduction for people in the Lansing area to kind of get a feel for these two guys. Aguirre is actually an exchange student from Mexico. This is his second year at Olivet, and he's just been a key arm for them, a key player at the plate as well, too. And Ramsey Basso, he's a guy that has done a lot of different things for Olivet as well, too. He was actually our player of the year last year for the Lansing State Journal. And but he's obviously someone as well, too, that I think people are going to get to see more of, obviously, with them playing in the semifinals next week as well, too. So I think those are two guys that maybe are a little bit under the radar just based on being at Olivet and not being in the, court, surrounding Lansing area right here. So people don't really necessarily get to see them on a regular basis. And for a lot of teams, this is their first time seeing them. And then another player I'll just throw out there, Caden Thalen from Portland, who turned in a pretty strong performance on the mound in the opening win over Williamston, tossing a 2-hitter. And this was a guy that didn't really pitch much last year for Portland, and a lefty, and he knew coming into the season that he would have to take on a bigger presence on the mound and perform well there for Portland to have some success, and he's definitely done that for them.
All right, look into your crystal ball. We got two more matchups to see who completes the semifinal matchups. We mentioned it, Grand Ledge, Portland, Okemos, DeWitt. Who do you like in those matchups?
Well, I think Okemos, just based on what the season that they've had, being the runner-up too in the CAAC Blue as well too. I think they would be the favorite going into that game against DeWitt on Thursday. I think DeWitt, is a team that has battled some injuries this season. Brandon Beckner, the guy I mentioned earlier, was actually DHing early in the season as he, continued his recovery from a labrum tear and surgery that he had after the football season as well too. So DeWitt is, getting healthy and kind of starting to play some of its best ball right now. So I think that's going to be an intriguing matchup. But I think Okemos is the favorite there. And then Grand Ledge Portland's an interesting matchup as well too. These two teams split a doubleheader not too long ago. It was, I think a couple Saturdays ago, and I think it was right after Grand Ledge picked up a win over top-ranked Northville, and the day after, they split a doubleheader with Portland as well too. But I think Grand Ledge, based on some of the big wins that they've had, I like them to find their way into McLean Stadium for the semifinals as well too.
All right, well, before we let you go, let fans that are listening know where they can find your great work at Lansing State Journal, and give us a little tease. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, so, I post a lot of my work at Twitter at Brian_Calloway. And obviously, like you said, LansingStateJournal.com. We have a lot of coverage of the Diamond Classic. And then, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on as the high school spring sports season starts to heat up as well, too. So we're also covering the Softball Classic this week. And then we've got the big honor roll track meet next Tuesday as well, too. And then, obviously, we got a lot of state tournament stuff starting to kick off next week as well too. So it's definitely a busy time, and we'll have the area covered for a lot of the big events that are coming up.
All right, Brian Calloway, thank you so much. Go check out his work. He does a great job, has for years, for the Lansing State Journal and Prep Sports and anything else that they ask him to do, that's for sure. Brian, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks again for having me.
Well, Rob, that was an excellent job. A little too good. I think you're going to start squeezing into my chair here.
I do what I can.
You did a nice job, but boy, talk about busy. He is a busy guy.
Yeah.
But what a great analysis of the Classic and the importance it is to the community here in the Lansing area and to baseball, to the legacy of baseball here in the Mid-Michigan area. So
and learning about, and I'm not originally from here,
right?
So learning the legacy of baseball here from all levels, it's pretty amazing. We mentioned John Smoltz right here in this area, but there's so many more great baseball players from the state of Michigan And we'll get into that
Well,
possibly
talk
next
about
week.
a tease.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
Talk about a tease. Well,
Yeah.
great job. And we're just beginning our discussion on the Baseball Classic. We'll continue it next week. But before we take our break and come back with our next segment, Rob, I wanted to give a mention to the Greater Lansing Hall of Fame Softball Classic.
Absolutely.
It's also taking place this week at Randy Park.
Brian mentioned it.
Here in Lansing. And yeah, how about the fact that we don't want to miss the softball side of it either?
No. Exciting things. And we talk about the great baseball teams here, around high school teams around this area. Well, there's just as exciting softball teams around this area, and they're putting on a great show, as always.
Well, how about this, Rob, too? Listen to the games tonight.
Yeah.
DeWitt against Langsburg, Holt versus Leslie. I'm hearing some of the same names we read in baseball, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the final then will be Friday night, 7 o'clock, between the winners of those two games tonight for the title of the Greater Lansing Hall of Fame Softball Classic.
Watch out for Holt. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Come right back with more.
Hey, before we go.
Yes, sir.
Why don't we tell people how they can reach us?
Rob, what a good idea.
Yeah, how about it? Because we're on Facebook right now, live video, right? Go to our Facebook page.
Now, we haven't crashed Facebook with the video. I mean,
oh, yeah, we have.
Well, no, the looks of our...
nothing's broken
yet.
Okay,
that's
you know
what I want to be
That's
sure.
why we have the dim lighting. You know what I mean? We don't want to get too bright in here because...
we have dim people. We should have dim lighting.
No, exactly correct. See how it all goes together? But most certainly, go ahead and like our Facebook page, Baseball This Week. And we are also on Twitter, believe it or not. Yes, it's true. Baseball This Week, baseball, BASEBALL, this, THIS, I can spell, and week is just WK. So make sure to go on Twitter and let us know how we're doing. Give us any thoughts you might have about your baseball journey this season as well. We'd love to hear from you.
Great,
YouTube
Rob.
as well. YouTube, we are live right now on YouTube as well. So our YouTube page, Baseball This Week.
Terrific, Rob. Nice job. We'll come back. More Baseball This Week right here on the Spotlight Media Network.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Time for a career change? Looking to make a difference? Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our dedicated team of school bus professionals. Dean Transportation has immediate openings and offers paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license. With increased starting pay, benefit packages, flexible scheduling with weekday hours, and more, Dean Transportation may be the career choice for you. No experience needed. Apply now and train all summer. Head to deanjobs.com.
April's full of adventure and winning at Firekeepers. It's the Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. 2 huge drawing days, $300,000 in prizes, including a fully loaded motor coach and more. The first big drawings are on Saturday, April 15th. You could win a pop-up camper, a deluxe travel trailer, or thousands in Red Hot credits to spin and win some more. On April 29th, you can win a share of $55,000 in Red Hot credits, a pop-up camper, a travel trailer, or the grand prize, a motor coach RV. It's the $300,000 Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. The best giveaways, the biggest guaranteed prizes, only at Firekeepers. Get your Vegas on at Firekeepers Casino Hotel. I-94 to exit 104 in Battle Creek. Management reserves all rights.
You're back. Baseball this week. Jim Stark along with Boston Rob Bennett here on the Spotlight Media Network. We're it's moving along today, Rob. Really, really humming along. Lots going on in the baseball world here around Lansing, Mid-Michigan, and of course the state in the whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to tell you one thing before we get to our next feature, though, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Lindy's book, right? The Lindy's baseball.
Your Bible.
They had these division winners picked for the in the AL. Okay,
right.
Ready?
Yeah.
East Yankees, Central Guardians, West Astros. These guys are paid big bucks and didn't get it right. Even close.
0 for 3.
0 for 3 so far. Now it's early yet.
I know,
but I found that interesting.
Give him a minute.
And we're gonna have coming up later on this in this segment. We're gonna have our farm down in the farm, our farm report. We're also gonna have our 3 up, 3 down. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about something I found, Rob. It's on AinsworthSports.com. Okay?
All right.
It is the list of the top-ranked baseball players of all time from Michigan high schools.
Oh, well.
Okay?
I mean,
this
is
is
basically just talking about that?
Well, it was a great lead, and then and I think we can post this on one of our pages, correct?
Yeah, just send me,
But what I want to tell our listeners is, you could, and then I want them to look at it and comment on it because it's really to me lots of.
We have the capability on this small island, Jim. We do.
That's what I want to hear. Okay, so if you want, I'll start with the top 20. How's that?
Oh boy, we gotta fly through.
No, I'll start with the top 10, but some of the names in the 11,
some names.
in 11 to 20. Jim Cott, who I think is way too low at 12, a Hall of Famer, too low. They've got DJ LeMahieu at 13 because he went where to school? Do you remember where he went to high school here in the state of Michigan?
I do not.
Brother Rice.
Yep. And great high school baseball program.
So DJ LeMahieu was still making noise with the New York Yankees. Is 13th. Go a little further down on that list. Rob, number 17. I'm going to test your baseball knowledge right here.
Don't do that right now.
According to Ainsworth.com, the 17th best high school player of all time for the state of Michigan is Wally Pipp.
Wow.
Do you know who Wally Pipp is?
Wow. There's a great story with Wally Pipp, right?
And it is?
And isn't it with Jackie Robinson?
Oh.
No?
It was when he
What's the old adage?
When he sat down for a day off with the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Who took his place?
Wasn't it Mickey Mantle?
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig.
Who then didn't sit down.
See, well, first off, me being Boston Rob, you give me a Yankee. You gave me a Yankee quiz, and of course I'm going to fail that.
No. Let me. I think the Wally Pipp Lou Gehrig story.
It's classic.
It's beyond just.
It's classic. And it's more classic.
And he didn't sit down for 2,000 more games, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So great story. But so let's go to the top 10 though.
You got me sliding off my chair here.
Yep. Top 10. Number 10. Frank Tanana, who went to Catholic Central.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Number 9. This one I got a question about. Mike G. Marshall, because there's more than one Mike Marshall. Mike G. Marshall, who came from Adrian, and of course went to play baseball for Michigan State.
Yeah.
And then went on to star for the
a couple of teams,
the Dodgers.
Yeah, a couple of teams.
Yep.
Right?
And then coming in at number 8, Bill Freehan, who went to Royal Oak High School.
Okay.
And then number 7, Bob Welch. Wow. From Hazel Park High School.
I did not know that.
Okay, now we're starting to really getting some tall cotton here now.
Yeah, sure.
Number 6, a guy named Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Who went to Central High School in Kalamazoo. Right?
Yeah.
Number 5, Billy Pierce. And I'm going to come back to Billy Pierce in a minute because he went to Highland Park High School.
That high, huh? Okay.
There you go, right?
Right.
Number 4, John Smoltz from right here in Waverly High School.
Okay.
Now we're getting really the top 3 ahead of Smoltz, ahead of Jeter, 2 Hall of Famers.
They better be.
Number 3, Ted Simmons out of Southfield High School.
Yeah, okay.
You don't like that one.
Well, let's see who else we
The
got.
final two, I don't think you'll get too many arguments about.
Right.
Number 2, Hal Newhouser out of Wright High School.
I mean, right.
And number 1, the all-time top-ranked baseball player from Michigan High School, according to AinsworthSports.com, Charlie Gehringer out of Fowlerville.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got
I'd sneak Smoltz, and as much as it pains me being from New England, I mean, I would put Smoltz and Jeter a little higher.
Yeah, Ted Simmons was a very good catcher, but it took him
a while,
a long time to get in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I think he had 2,200 hits, but I don't put him above John Smoltz or Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
I mean, Derek Jeter and John Smoltz are amongst the very best who ever played their position. I would not put Ted Simmons amongst the best catchers.
And what they meant for their teams. I mean,
Right.
Jeter was named the captain for a reason.
Right.
I mean, it's more about, I know baseball is all about statistics, yada, 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 but when you look especially at Jeter, as much as it pains me,
Yep.
I mean, man, you're really pushing my buttons today, Jim.
I got it, Rob. I know. But talk to Ainsworth Sports. I didn't make this list.
Yeah. Well, in all seriousness, I mean, what Jeter was meant to the Yankees on and off the field.
Oh,
I mean,
and baseball.
And the work ethic.
He was
just in baseball. Yeah,
he was a
great representative.
I think Smoltz and Jeter go higher than Ted Simmons. I have no problem with Charlie Gehringer and Hal Newhouser.
No, I agree with that.
But the next levels, and Billy Pierce. Billy Pierce was a great pitcher back in the war years, but Billy Pierce versus John Smoltz, I don't see that at all. I would probably even put Bill Freehan at number 8 above Ted Simmons because Freehan didn't have quite the stats, but he was a better Simmons was an okay catcher. He was a better offensive
then why
player.
Is he so? Why is Simmons so high?
Because he was a great offensive player. Okay, look up his stats. Okay,
yeah.
But he had 300. He had 300. For his career. But Freehan was a better all-around
overall
catcher.
Player.
Yeah,
overall player, and that's what we're looking at.
And then Frank Tanana. I think I'm good with him top 10 because he was a great pitcher.
I might even put him a little higher.
But I'm okay. But I think Jim Cott down at 12. I don't
put
get
him
that
in the
one.
top 10.
I absolutely top 10.
8, 9, 7.
I'd dump Billy Pierce and Ted Simmons out of my top 10. No offense to those guys, but I would reorder those top, and I would include probably Jim Cott and LeMahieu. I'm okay with that being down in the 13 range. He's still got a lot of career left to make his legacy. And here's the other thing: I'm going down. And the first player I think I recognize that I connect with Boston, okay, Rob, this is for you. I'm doing this for you.
I appreciate it.
I could be wrong, but
after all that Jeter talk,
I'm pretty sure
I needed something.
The first one I've got is Dick Raditz at number 20. Because I know Raditz pitched for Red Sox back in the mid-'60s.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the best I got for you. Didn't Derek Lowe pitch too?
Yeah, Derek Lowe was a pitcher.
They have him at 18.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a little Boston love for you.
I appreciate it. And where is one of my personal favorites growing up, Jim Abbott?
Well,
where is he in this?
He is,
somewhere?
and so that was my next point was I'm going to howl about Jim Abbott and Willie Horton being so low on this list.
Wow.
Willie Horton is down at 27th behind guys like Tom Tresh.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly. Leon Wagner.
Okay.
So
where's Abbott?
And Abbott, you got to go all the way down to 40.
Oh, this is terrible.
So we want to invite our listeners, Rob.
Yeah.
We're going to post this list on our which page do we put it this on? Tell me.
We'll put it on our Facebook page. We can even put it on our Twitter page.
We can do both.
We can do both. Hey, like I said, we have the technology on this little island, Jim.
And we are encouraging anyone to go on there and let us know what they think.
Now, you got to send. Are you going to be able to send me this link?
This am.
This is the question, folks.
I am.
All right.
I'm going to hand it. It's in my hand. See, I'll give it. Come give it to you. Isn't that how it works?
Okay. Yeah. Write it down for me.
Assume I'm going to do this right, Rob.
I assume. You know what happens when I start assuming.
But go to our Facebook page and our Twitter and comment about, and we'll read some of those comments next week.
Yeah, sure.
How's that?
Love it.
But I tell you, Kirk Gibson, 32.
That's ridiculous.
Right?
Now you're getting me just mad.
Right.
Come on, I want to leave on a good note here.
Well, I'm just showing a couple other names down here that I think
32?
are 32.
Would you consider Kirk Gibson? I mean, we'll probably never know, but a better football player or baseball player?
Well, I don't think
we'll never.
I don't think he had enough track record. I think he probably could have been a better football player than baseball player in the pros.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm asking.
He was phenomenal speed for a guy his size.
Yeah.
He was a prototypic tight end, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say this though. Rob,
you got calls. Look at you. You're already getting calls.
I get calls because they don't like what I said about the listing. But I will say this: he was so unique, and I think he'd have been a better football if he could have stayed healthy. Yeah. That would be the question about Kirk Gibson. Was
sure
he was so prone to injury because he was such a hard player. That would have been the problem. All right, so watch for this post of our
we'll get it
list
up there this week.
Yep, comment on it and Rob will give you the buzzwords in a little bit. We're going to take a break though.
Hold on.
Oh, I can't take a break yet?
No, you can't take a break
yet.
Okay. You talked about a lot of history of these all-star players from Michigan. Well, why don't you do a little down on the farm report real quick?
Well,
some future maybe Hall of
you know what?
Some future Hall of Fame
and you're
players.
so smart. You're so smart because it's one of our sponsors joining us.
Hey, I'm here
this
to help,
week's
especially with a sponsor.
This week's Down in the Farm reports brought to you by the Kosmowski Group. Since 2005, the Kosmowski Group has provided public and media relations, digital marketing, and strategic management consultation to a wide range of clients in the sports, manufacturing, and event industry. You can find them front and center or behind the scenes at major sporting events throughout Michigan and across the country. If you manage sporting events, manufacture sports products, or provide sports-related services, rely on the Kosmowski Group to tell your story and grow your event or business. The Kosmowski Group, your game, a level up. You can find them on the web. And we appreciate the fact that they're joining us this week. And we want to go to this week's farm, Down in the Farm Report. We'll first go to Erie, Rob.
Yeah.
One familiar name. Can't miss this on the report this week. And that is, of course, the big power hitter, Colt Keith. Up to 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, 9 doubles, 2 triples, 309 batting average, and an OPS of 957.
He's almost got double of home runs of any Tiger in the majors.
He's got the most RBIs and the most home runs of any player in the Tiger system.
I mean, we kid, right? But, again, it's such a jump from going to Major League pitching.
Oh, absolutely.
The adjustments that need to be made.
But it's a promising light on the horizon.
Yes.
Yep. And we also want to talk, I think, on the pitching side. We'll skip over that because I want to go to Toledo first, okay? On the Toledo side, on the plus side, again, a player we're watching on here on the Farm Report, Justin Henry Malloy. His batting average has dropped under 300 for the first time all year. It's 294, but 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, 9 doubles, and a 911 OPS. Why isn't he up at Toledo in place of one of these guys hitting 160?
Well, that's the question, right?
All right. Also on the
you don't want to rush it either.
No,
you want to see some consistency across the board.
But right now, the Tigers could use a guy hitting 294 with a 911 OPS.
No question.
Right. On the other side of the field, the pitching side, a little promising light again. Yeah. Matt Wisner, who is 3-0, 1.64 ERA, 1 save in 22 innings pitched. He is by far the most successful pitcher down there in the bullpen for the Mud Hens, and we may see him up here if somebody has to either go on the disabled list or maybe one of these.
Because I was going to say, if he's a relief pitcher, it's going to be tough sledding to get up there with the relief pitching staff that we have, that the Detroit Tigers have right now.
All right,
but it's good to hear that the well is not dry in the minors for relief pitching.
The farms
can never have enough of that.
We're cooking on the farms a little bit. All right. We want to thank the Kosmowski Group for sponsoring the Down in the Farm Report for this week. We'll take a break now. Can I do it now, Rob? We're good?
Take a break? We're good now. You can take a break now.
Take a break. We'll back. More of baseball this week. Heard right here on the Spotlight Media Network.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Time for a career change? Looking to make a difference? Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our dedicated team of school bus professionals. Dean Transportation has immediate openings and offers paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license. With increased starting pay, benefit packages, flexible scheduling with weekday hours, and more, Dean Transportation may be the career choice for you. No experience needed. Apply now and train all summer. Head to deanjobs.com.
April's full of adventure and winning at Firekeepers. It's the Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. 2 huge drawing days, $300,000 in prizes, including a fully loaded motor coach and more. The first big drawings are on Saturday, April 15th. You could win a pop-up camper, a deluxe travel trailer, or thousands in Red Hot credits to spin and win some more. On April 29th, you can win a share of $55,000 in Red Hot credits, a pop-up camper, a travel trailer, or the grand prize, a motor coach RV. It's the $300,000 Get Out and Go RV giveaway on Saturdays, April 15th and 29th. The best giveaways, the biggest guaranteed prizes, only at Firekeepers. Get your Vegas on at Firekeepers Casino Hotel, I-94 to exit 104 in Battle Creek. Management reserves all rights.
Welcome back. You're listening to and enjoying, hopefully, baseball this week. I'm Jim Stark, along with
how can you not?
along with Boston,
Come
Boston Rob. And Rob, I want to add one quick thing about the down in the farm report. I missed one pitcher.
Swing and a miss, Jim. Come on.
Well, one of the pitchers on Erie I wanted to bring up because we want more pitchers to look and have some hope for, and that's Brant Herter, who is a starter down there. He's pitched 37 innings, 2-1, 1.93 ERA.
That's what you're looking at is the ERA, right?
A bright spot. Hopefully, maybe getting that promotion up to Toledo sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But before we take our look ahead at the week ahead, Rob, I want to do our 3 up, 3 down this week. And for 3 up this week, 3 down. I did it wrong.
You can still save
I'm
yourself.
going to fix myself right now.
Save yourself.
3 down.
There
First,
we go.
Andy Ibanez, who after a really hot start when he
you
first
were all
came
about
up.
him last week.
Well,
what happened?
I did. He's down to 188.
Yeah.
1 home run, 6 RBIs, and 188 just doesn't make it at the major league level. So I got to have him in my 3 down.
Well, apparently with the Detroit Tigers it does. Even lower averages do, but I hear what you're saying.
Number
all
2,
kidding aside.
I think he's still got a spot on my 3 down. And that's Nick Maton, who's he's got 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. 168, Rob.
Yeah.
It's
a home run or nothing for
you
this
got to
guy, right?
get that average up.
Yep.
And a little bit surprised on my 3 down, but I think I want to go with it. Eduardo Rodriguez, he's gone 0-2
Wow.
and given up six earned runs over his last 10 innings after that really hot streak. So he's on my down list. I'm not in the trash heap, but on my down list.
Okay.
3 down. Okay.
It's not a dumpster fire yet.
Yep. Nope. But he's not where he was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Okay. My 3 up this week. First off, Akil Baddoo, who somehow continues to really be a productive player, average up to 250, only 1 home run, but 10 RBIs. Yeah. So he's filled a hole in that outfield that they have nobody right now to play. Right? So he's filling that hole. Matt Veerley, another one of the guys playing that platoon in the outfield, average up to 252, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, and playing good defense and runs the bases.
I like him a lot.
And finally, I can't leave off Riley Green. I know you're tired of hearing about him.
No,
but average
it's true.
up to 287, leading hitter of the team, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, and playing good defense.
Right now, the face of the franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my 3 up for this week. And Rob, and hopefully we'll have a new list and some new names and faces next week.
Absolutely correct.
But speaking of that next week, we got to look. We got a big Memorial Day weekend coming up, Rob.
Yeah.
What's coming up this week
Well,
for
we
baseball?
got the Big Ten tournament continuing. Of course, Michigan State will play tomorrow afternoon, either against Rutgers or Nebraska. That game is still going on. And, of course, we've talked about it all show. The Dean Shippey Diamond Capital Classic continuing into next week. We'll talk more about that next week as well. But for your Tigers fans out there,
coming home.
They're coming home in a big time home schedule here coming up with the White Sox after finishing up with the Royals, where they are just underway with that right now, finishing up that series at the Royals. But then they come home against the White Sox, the Rangers. So into next week and into next weekend. So there's another White Sox who I feel like you could argue another team that has been struggling, right? Would you agree?
Oh yes.
You take full advantage of being
they
home.
better with 4 games.
Yeah,
they've got to
especially with Texas on the horizon.
And they won't. The surprising Texas Rangers in first place in the West.
Yep.
You better make some money off the White Sox, because the Rangers will not be, and that's a long 7-game stretch. So real quick, the Lansing Lugnuts, they're on the road this week, but they finally come home on the 30th against the Cedar Rapids Colonels. So wait till the 31st into that next week. They'll have the Cedar Rapids Colonels over at the stadium, so you can catch them as they come back into town. So we'll talk more about the Baseball Classic next week, as you mentioned.
Absolutely.
And
don't forget to like us on Facebook
and
on our Twitter page as well.
And go to the post. Rob will post for the all-time list of baseball high school all-time list ranked of players who played high school sports here in the state of Michigan, high school baseball. And give us your comments, give us your thoughts
good,
on our
bad,
Twitter.
or different. We want them all. We want them all.
All right. And you can find our podcast on a number of outlets, right?
Yeah. Well, you can go to Spreaker, you can go to Spotify, Apple, all your major podcasts. We're right there. Right there. No striking out here, baby.
Rob, 4 in the can. Good job.
Loving it.
Nice job.
A 4-bagger.
We want to thank our new sponsors today. Of course, the Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy and the Kosmowski Group. All of our advertisers you heard on the breaks. For Rob, for Boston,
and thank you to
Jim
Brian.
Stark.
Thank you for Brian Calloway from Lansing State Journal for joining us as well.
Great interview. Nice work there, Rob. I'm Jim Stark. Have a great week. See you next week on Baseball This Week here on the Spotlight Media Network.